Did somebody say clean hits after dark? Oh, here we are. We're live. I am Clean Hits Trent. I'm joined by the mystery man himself, Betsky, who's out on the
I am in
prowl.
the dark.
Brad is truly Clean Hits after dark. He's stalking the streets of Tempe, Arizona with his little miniature werewolf, Ned himself. Brad, why don't you introduce Ned to the people? The people need to see Ned.
I'm in a dark corner, so once I get under a streetlight, I will.
All right. He's really lurking in the shadows. I'm joined also by Kenny, who's maybe the only man in more trouble than Dmitry Simashev. Kenny has decided to walk away from his wedding anniversary to record Clean Hits
Is that
After
bad?
Dark. Kenny, you are a brave man, maybe as brave as Max Domi taking on Nikita Zadorov. Maybe even more. Kenny, what the hell are you thinking? What are you thinking, Kenny?
Well, it was dangerous, but the wife and I have been married for 8 years today, so it's
congrats.
Thank you very much. I asked her to come onto the podcast, and she said no, because we've been tipping a few back here. So I apologize. It's clean hit after dark. God, I got my clean hits bases on, so. It's clean hits after dark. I don't know why, guys. I was trying to go for some kind of gear or anything, but I couldn't find anything, and I was like, perfect. I'll wear a Christmas sweater, and that's bad news in Arizona. But this is what I was going to wear. I don't know if you can read it.
Ask your mom if I'm real. I texted my mom. She didn't answer. So that silence is deafening.
She was busy.
But
no, so I panicked and decided to throw a couple clean hit stickers on, and here we are. So apologies if I'm a little sloppy. This was kind of a knee-jerk podcast, but that's what we wanted to do. This was an exciting win. I was in such a panic and a rush to get dressed for this podcast. I didn't see who scored the 5th goal.
Clayton Keller, empty netter.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So nothing too exciting, but hey, congrats to Clayton. I mean, I predicted him to get 100+ points this year, and it's been a tough stretch of games, the last few games, but this is a nice morale boost for the boys, and I feel a little bad for Kess and Donor, but it's nice to get a win because it was looking a little grim there after going down 2-0, and. Buffalo's going to Buffalo, but we need to win these games. These are trap games. Am I wrong?
No. Especially, I was especially nervous having beat them at home already and having a really banged up Buffalo roster. That is a game that mediocre or bad teams absolutely lose.
Yeah, agreed. First and foremost, I have to address the elephant in the room. Trent, your backdrop is sick.
It's a work in progress.
It's sick. We gotta put you up there for a second. Look at that. He's got the Postgame on and everything. That is
the Northern Lights, which can be seen in AZ recently.
Yeah, exactly. Then Arizona,
not just in Trent's studio.
Yeah, exactly.
Further proof that the world is just a simulation and birds are not real. Especially ducks.
Ducks are real. Even though the Ducks look phenomenal this year. Leo Carlson last night, I had it on at the bar. Oh my God, that guy's a freaking maniac. But
Barkov number 2.
Yeah, I don't want to rub it in Trent's face too much. I'm not a Ducks fan either. But let's talk about who we're really here to talk about, and that's the Utah Mammoth. And by the way, I know this is probably a little too early to say this, but this kind of felt like a must-win game. I don't know why. It was just we were off to a blazing hot start, winning 7 in a row, and then I think the thing that scares me the most is that some teams, when they get off to a hot start, I think Montreal did it back in like 2017 where they won 10 in a row and then just fell flat on their faces. And I think it's because they took their foot off the gas pedal. And that is a testament from the coaching staff down. And so I was a little worried about potentially losing the room based off of a hot start. You know, the team's got a new identity. They're settled into Utah. They get off to this blazing hot start. They're being talked about as a playoff or bust team, and all of a sudden you go and lose 4 out of your last 5, right? And so tonight, I don't know why, but it felt like a momentum turning tide change, I guess. And again, it's against Buffalo and they're banged up, but this felt like a statement win, especially going down 2-0 early on.
Yeah, being down early to a guy that I did not really know of was a little bit frightening, and totally felt like, well, yeah, Buffalo's pissed from us beating them last week, and here we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have to agree. This is one of those games that you can't let the momentum slide too much. Now, as Sergachev would say, you can't count your chickens before they hatch either.
Oh my
So
God.
we need to start stringing together some wins here. So good start, especially, coming back from a 2-0 deficit and winning the way they did. What was that? 4 goals in the third?
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. The new lines kind of clicking so
3 goals
quickly.
Yeah. Wait, no.
Well, 4 with
goals.
the empty net.
Yeah. That's right. Sorry, I missed that.
Yep. And then the mix up of the lines, the blending of the lines really came to, which that's a huge help too.
Yeah.
I think it was definitely a game that's going to help the team decide which direction they want to go, right? Are they going to accept this kind of mediocrity? Or are they going to accept being a up and down, win one, lose one team, or a team that can go on long losing streaks? Or are they going to level up, find a new gear, dig deep, and come back? And I think that the team showed that that's what they were going to do. I think Clayton Keller showed that's what he's going to do. I think Logan Cooley was battling hard, Michael Carcone, and I think JJ Peterka especially.
Oh my God.
He's like, your boy's not going out this way. I'm not going to let the internet, Twitter sphere of Buffalo hockey fans have their toxic fuel to fuel further bad mouthing of JJ Peterka online.
For sure.
He dug deep. He battled back. He decided that he was going to be the hero of the game. And our boy JJ came up in a big, big way. Brad, you mentioned the line shuffling. I'm not sure that it had exactly the effect Turney was intending.
No.
He demoted Peterka, promoted Carcone, and suddenly it was Peterka driving the bus. So I think maybe a little bit of a happy accident. If he was just looking for some kind of a spark, he definitely got it. If he was looking to reward Carcone and punish JJ Peterka, didn't necessarily have the desired effect. But I will say I've been begging for that third line to get an infusion of skill. My idea has been to bring up Daniil Boot from Tucson to provide that, give some actual puck skill and playmaking ability to that third line to kind of unlock Krause and McBain. We didn't get it from Boot. We did get it from JJ Peterka. Not sure if that's a long-term solution for keeping that third line hot, but it definitely did the trick tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, Brad.
It's really interesting because I'd have to agree. I'm not in love with the idea of a Carcone, Hayton, Gunther line for too long. Maybe Carcone is the piss and vinegar and the oomph that line needs, and that Gunther kind of needs to get going. But I really kind of am daydreaming now that you got that. Ooh, bless you, Dad. Idea in my head of bringing up Boot for that second line.
Hey,
Boot, Gunther, Hayton.
Oof.
That's interesting.
Somebody's got to get Hayton going. I mean, Barrett Hayton is a little bit of the cooler here, I think, to some extent. Well, maybe it's a coincidence, but yeah,
his agent should be getting him going. What is going on?
Well, I liked what I saw from him at the end of the game. I love getting that late 10-minute misconduct when you're up by 2 goals. I like that.
Oh.
That is the Hayton that we need to see. And we've said this multiple times that Hayton has always been a notorious slow starter, but he, in the early on, he has looked good. Now I am still on the, I guess the train, for lack of a better term, that he would be an ideal trade piece for a bigger, more impactful center. And it's going to hurt, obviously, like throwing out ideas that we've talked about in previous podcasts, and just to kind of preview a podcast that Corey and I are planning on doing later this week is potential trade options, because we're getting to that point, right? We're getting to the point of Trent's wow, God, the beers are getting to me, guys. Trent's famous line of, well, it's a stat, I think, that by Canadian Thanksgiving, right? That if you're
just regular Thanksgiving, the God blessed US of A, red, white, and blue.
Okay.
Thanksgiving.
Shout out Veterans Day.
Yeah.
Shout out Veterans Day, baby. 250th Marine Corps birthday was on Monday. Not a big deal. But by American Thanksgiving, if you are out of the playoffs, you have like a 7% chance of making it in the playoffs. I feel
about 75-25. Yeah. 75-25. Yeah. About 3/4 of the teams in a playoff position on Thanksgiving continue to remain in a playoff position. So historically, at least in the recent past. Yeah.
Don't trust Kenny with stats on his anniversary after he's had a few beers. But anyway, you guys know where I'm getting at. We're kind of at that point where we need to potentially start analyzing this roster and see if this has the potential to make a deep playoff run, because you don't want to just make the playoffs and get bounced in the first round, especially in a draft class such as this. And if we're potentially toying with the idea of trading our first round pick this year, which a couple of weeks ago I felt like it was a very real possibility, then you need to make sure that you have a damned good idea that you're going to make the playoffs. And right now, I'm not getting the warm and fuzzies about that. I don't know if you guys are, but you asked me a week ago, I'd have been like, yeah, we're doing all right. We're on a little skid, but I'm not exactly thrilled with the coaching strategies that I've seen lately. I'm not exactly thrilled with what I've seen out of Karel Vejmelka. I feel like I mentioned in the Discord earlier, I feel his lateral movement is very slow. I don't know why, but he used to be just this acrobatic freak that could just project himself off of one post and get to the other post without issue. There was a goal tonight. I think it was the second goal. Well, yeah, they only scored 2, but it was the second goal where he just looked really, really slow going from east to west. And so it makes me nervous, especially if he's healthy, that he's been putting up kind of subpar numbers so far. We've been scoring a lot of goals, which has been helpful, but you can't necessarily trust a goalie that's got a sub 900 save percentage, right? I mean, you can't do that in a deep playoff run.
Yeah, and I don't know how easy it is to address the goaltending situation mid-season, or even if they really need to address it necessarily, or just kind of wait it out with Vejmelka and wait for him to kind of go back to his original form, the one that got him the big contract. But in terms of looking at pieces to shore up the group moving into the playoffs, securing a playoff position and potentially looking to do more than get bounced early, yeah, there needs to be 2 sides to that. And, there's a lot of surprise teams this year in a positive way, and some surprise teams in a negative way as well. I don't think a lot of people expected St. Louis or Calgary to be this bad, Nashville to some extent. So definitely some possibilities to explore there, but a lot to take care of in their own house. I definitely love the spark that we're seeing on that third line now. We need to get Hayton going again, need to get Gunther going again. I think that Cooley, Keller, and Schmaltz look fantastic The second power play unit is really embarrassing. The makeup of it, some of the personnel they have on there. And when that first power play unit is not clicking in the way that it's not clicking currently, having a second power play unit featuring Kevin Stenlund and Kyler Yamamoto is not ideal when you need that second unit to step up and kind of make up for the slack of the first unit. So Sean Durzi coming back would certainly help that. Sounds like there's still not a timeline for his return, unfortunately. They may need to look within. Maybe this is the first step to turning the corner. They do have some reinforcements down on the farm they could potentially call up, especially in Daniel Boot. That might give them a spark if they need another one. I don't know, Brad. What are you thinking? Is Utah got their mojo back, or have they just managed to keep themselves on life support?
Well, I'm thinking it's not even 1/4 of the way through the hockey season. So come on, guys.
Yeah.
But I do think this next stretch of games is really important. Like we said before here, this felt like a must-win game. They got it. Now you got to keep winning. You can't just start losing again. And, at this point, if we really want to be a playoff game or team, I don't want it going back to 500 hockey right now,
Right. Yeah.
We need more wins and losses for an extended amount of time. We don't need a 7-game win streak again, per se, but I want 5 points for every loss. You know?
I agree with you. It is early yet, but I do think it is time to start analyzing things. I mean, you can let the season get away from you in November and December, especially late.
I hear you. But it's a grind, and
for sure
we are really. And maybe I'm telling myself this because I've been cold as hell with gambling. I'm just trying to tell myself I got a long way to go. And
the reverse mush
hockey. Dude, I did want to give myself a pat on the back for the Josh Down and JJ Paterka 2 shots on goal and then 3 shots on goal shot ladder did cash, so we're good. Here's Ned too, if you can see him.
Speaking of
the turf, Mr.
Guy.
Boot right here,
Mr. Butt, exactly.
But I think before we start to figure out any sort of trades, I don't think this team needs to make a trade yet unless there's an injury, and a substantial one. I would love to have an idea if Jersey's coming back soon because the blue line is. I think we're going to get a nice little spark from DeSimone here, but that's going to fade. And then if Mata can't get his groove back, we may need to send him to like St. Thomas Island or something here. Let him get a VHS copy from an old Blockbuster video of how Stella got her groove back and figure this out, because we're going to need a little extra minute munching and strong defensive play to carry this while Jersey's still out. But
I really liked what I saw from Sergachev and Marino tonight. Marino,
I did too,
especially over the last little while. Sergachev too. That's looking really good. I do wonder, did Simashev get hurt? Did he get benched?
I think it was a benching.
What happened to Simashev? Yeah.
Because we definitely would have heard about it if he was hurt, I feel. But I do think that's beneficial in a young player's career to sit back and watch a couple plays and get a little bit of I don't want to say a reality check. I don't think this guy's full of himself at all. But I do think that this is the big boy's game, and this is his first year, and he's making it as a rookie. You do need to sit back and kind of analyze the game from the bench, maybe the press box a couple games, but to circle back to my main point, I'm not necessarily targeting Vejmelka entirely. I do feel like there is a need to shore up the team in front of him, and specifically on defense. And I know if you would have asked me again 3 weeks ago what this team's biggest need would be, I would say, an additional center, someone that can move Jack McBain to the wing full time and just have, Cooley, Hayton, ex-player, and Stenlund down the middle. that was the main target. I have now transitioned to think that we need more of an elite. I don't want to say an elite, but someone more impactful than an Oli Mata as a defensive defenseman. We need a top 4 defenseman on this team, and I especially with a youngster like Simishev in the lineup, and even with Dursey coming back, he's going to help our power play for sure, but he's not known for his defensive play. And I feel like we do have a serious need for someone to clean up some mistakes that are being made by a very, very young, talented, but very, very young roster. And I think that there's definitely some potential to get out there. And with adding a top 4 defenseman to this lineup, especially a defenseman that's a stay-at-home defenseman, that's going to clean up Karel Vejmelka's numbers too. So I'm not saying we need to jettison Vejmelka to the moon. I'm saying I think that there's a piece that needs to be added here pretty soon that can stabilize this young roster.
Fair enough.
I would agree. I'd love to get the best shutdown lefty top 4 guy you could find. Also, though, with Dursey coming back, you kind of wonder if maybe we slide Simmer back over to the left side and let him pair up with Dursey for a little bit, put Marino up there with Sergachev, and then let it Cole and Schmidt take the bomb pair for a bit.
You know, there's one guy that interests me a little bit. Left shot D, you can play both sides. He's on a team that looks to be retooling, rebuilding, who's got a bright young star on defense and has pushed this gentleman down the depth chart a little bit. He's averaging fewer than 19 minutes per night, and that's Alexander Romanov for the New York Islanders. Another Russian, a stay-at-home defenseman who's maybe not having a season up to his usual standard. He's young enough to fit into a potential Islanders rebuild, retool, but I do wonder with them loading up on draft picks, maybe that's a name to keep in mind as someone who's young enough to fit into the core here and be a long-term solution. In a way that some of the other names that we've heard wouldn't be. That's just one thought I had is maybe we get on the phone with the Islanders and see what they're thinking about Romanov.
Yeah, what's funny is in quick shout out to Benji. this Brad video is how I imagine Alan got the roof piece in the beginning of the Hangover movie. That's so good. But we talked about this at the draft party. You remember that? Like when we were rumored to be potentially swapping with the Islanders to get back to what the Islanders, I think what picked, did they have pick 12? Is that what it was? To go back from 4 to 12. Romanov was one of the pieces that we felt needed to come back. He's not the delta between pick 4 and pick 12. But he would have been a piece that we would have needed to come back. And especially at that time, we had no idea if Simishev was going to make the roster or not. But I do like the idea of Romanov. There's a couple other guys too. I was thinking about it, and I know this is kind of a little counterproductive based off of exactly what I just said, but I do feel like, someone like a good solid veteran like Cam Fowler from St. Louis would be a good option as well. He's a good puck moving defenseman, but he's also a two-way defenseman. He's not a stay at home, but he's not a purely offensive player that's going to cost you a goal here and there like he was in his early years in Anaheim. But that's another player I was looking at too, especially with St. Louis slumping and the relationship between the Armstrongs in Utah and St. Louis. But I do feel like we need a solid veteran back there that has more upside than an Oli Mata. And I like where your head's at with someone that fits the age group of Bill Armstrong's philosophy, and that, Romanov would fit right in. So we'll see. I mean, I know Brad's going to hate me for this, but I do feel like it's time at this point, especially with a playoffs or bust year, to start really considering a shakeup in the roster, because at one point last week I was thinking, is this a coaching thing? Do we have to address that first? Or, do we have to potentially start looking at Pete DeBoer, who is a perennial winner and can get you from a bubble playoff team to a deep run in the playoffs? Or is this just a string of bad luck? And I know I hate to say that because this team has been so impressive so far, but you got to keep that momentum.
I think tonight was a good first step in that direction. We'll see where it goes from here. I know that we had a really tough strength of schedule to start this season, and it does ease up a bit. I wonder, let's take a quick look at the schedule for Utah coming up in the next little bit and see what we think the odds are of them being able to carry this forward. The next game is this Friday against the Islanders. So that's definitely a winnable game. Then next week we have Anaheim and San Jose. Anaheim's a bit of a buzzsaw, but they're a young team. San Jose is definitely a beatable team as well. So this may be a good opportunity for us to start winning some momentum back here in November and give us a better opportunity to kind of reassess. It gets a little tougher with a couple of games against Vegas to close out the month, bookending a game against the New York Rangers, who we definitely should be able to beat. Unfortunately, they're on the road in Utah.
Hey, I was going to say, are they?
Yeah, it'd be nice if we could get to MSG. Yeah, exactly.
They've had six goals total at home, and I think they've played 8 or 10 at home.
Well, 6 of those came on the other night in Nashville, but I was hoping to make that a total Martin Scorsese transition just now, but man, that didn't work out so hot.
I did see you
trying
limping.
to switch from phone to computer streaming, and Kenny, don't worry, I got the Mac camera on, so you're not seeing blurriness. That's just the camera.
This is a Mac camera too, by the way.
One cut edit, but I just can't get logged in quick enough. So sorry about that.
Yeah,
there you go. Hold the horses with the Rangers, though. Trocheck's back. They put up 7 tonight. They put up 6 against Nashville. That team was underperforming.
So I'm actually a little scared, Trent. I think you mentioned 2 teams that kind of scare me a little bit in there, and that's the Islanders and San Jose. I know that sounds silly, but I mean, I think
San Jose's in a wild card spot, or they were maybe until tonight.
Yeah, I think Anaheim is definitely going to be our toughest test out of those 3 games against the Islanders, the Ducks, and the Sharks. But I feel like that's when this team performs at its best, is when it's facing somebody that's it's so weird to talk about the Ducks this way, but when it's facing a powerhouse early on in the year, and the Ducks are what they are. I mean, they are a good team. They're a good up and coming young team, and they're leading the Pacific. So I feel like that's when everybody's going to be on their A game. But I do feel a little bit like this team still has the Coyote syndrome, where they fall into trap games like that, like nothing. And
all right, I'm going to give you the crisscross applesauce here. Ducks just won 7 straight and then lost, or was it 8 straight and then lost to the Avs. They looked good in that game.
They did look good.
But is this their turn to start slumping after their big win streak? That
the better in you would probably say that for sure.
Right? Let's take a look at that lineup, because we play them on Monday. In the meantime, they are on the road. They go to the Red Wings tomorrow, Wild on Saturday, and then we get them at home on Monday. That's called a grocery game, which means you're back at home. You got time to go to the grocery store, get those pantries stocked. You're back into your routine. Get to see your girlfriends again, your wives, your family.
How many girlfriends do they have?
Kicking your feet up a little bit and taking that team that's rolling into your hometown a little easy.
Yeah.
So what I'm hoping here is Red Wings beat them. They beat Minnesota, win that last game on that 3-game road trip, come back home feeling good while also beating one of our divisional opponents, and are caught sleepwalking on the grocery game.
So are you suggesting that you're hoping to see the Utah Mammoth just give an absolute shit kicking to the Anaheim Ducks? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, I'm on board. I'm on board with that.
Yeah,
I'm on board
I
with
kinda
that.
figured.
We're not Anaheim apologists on this show, like some
No.
podcasts hosted
I was just
by
gonna say-
certain people, like Austin Facer, perhaps, who
Mhm.
seems to have just
have him
like
on that show.
Yeah.
mm,
I want
so
Lauren thinking about how many Bud Light smoothies he's left in his fridge before he went over to the game. Do I got 5 left when I get home?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. The Ducks, I do feel like they are going to fizzle out after a while. I believe in their goaltending. I believe in their young guns up front. I don't necessarily love their defense, although they do have some young studs there as well. I do feel like this is a team that's riding a high right now that's eventually going to come back down to earth. I'm sure their shooting percentages off the charts right now, especially with Cutter Gauthier, who we all knew was going to be a player, but I mean, nobody's predicting he's going to be a 50 goal scorer this year, right?
I don't think even Leo Carlson's current production is sustainable.
That's the one that I think it's a wild card. I do feel like he's like a Draisaitl light. I know that sounds really.
I mean, this is like, how many points does he have? I mean, he's on like a 90+ pace right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's sustainable for sure. I just think that he's one that I could see dragging them into the playoffs. I think he's one of those guys that get you there and get you through.
Yeah. I have no doubt they can make the playoffs. He is tied for second in the league for points.
Is that good?
With Macklin Celebrini.
Again, that's
number 4.
Yeah. So I
think
the
32, Carlson and Celebrini 26, Bedard 25, McDavid tied with Bedard at 25. Like it's going to fall off a little bit. I'm sorry, but it's just going to.
Yeah, it is.
It will. Their shooting percentage is second in the NHL at 13.
Yeah, that's kind of
which is
and Cutter's
is
isn't
50,
wildly high because he's taking like 12 attempts a game.
Yeah,
their shooting percentage is up 50% from last year. So
yeah,
they were at 9.3. They're now at 13.7. So it's jumped by 50% from last season. So
yeah, and for new hockey fans, it's just not sustainable. It's not. That is a significant jump. I can't even try to make a comparison to a player right now, but they're like, it was like the Nazem Kadri contract year where he ended up signing in Calgary. Like that guy was like a perennial 50 point player. Wow, sorry. And then jumped up to like 85 points or 90 points. I forgot what he had. It's just sometimes you ride a hot streak and it's just not going to, it's not going to keep up. And I think that's where Anaheim's at. That's why they don't really scare me much later on in the season. But I think early, they are a team that we have to pony up and make sure that we have our best effort from. And so that's why I think that's a very winnable game versus the two San Jose and the Islanders games where I just feel like we could go in there with that mindset. And I don't know if it's from the coach or if it's the players getting comfortable after a hot start, that those are the ones that scare me the most. Those are the ones that are going to piss you off, that you're like sitting there like the San Jose game last year, where you're like, what the hell just happened? You know, where we gave up 3 goals in the last 10 minutes of the game. Those are the games that we call trap games, where you just feel that you're comfortable and you're like, you know, this is a scheduled win for us. And all of a sudden these young guns come out of nowhere and light you up. So I'm hoping that tonight's win is a momentum builder. I'm not holding my breath, though. I haven't seen enough from this team to tell me that they have the wherewithal to keep this up. And I'm not a doubter. I'm just maybe a little bit more jaded as a long time
that's all
Coyotes
I'm
fan.
hearing. You need your Coyote Titus shot. You're a little late.
I know.
Yeah, that Islanders game, they better be able to win that. I will
think
be
this
upset
guy's
if they
cursing
can't
me.
win. Yeah,
He's just
wrong
staring
month,
at me.
man.
Yeah, I know.
Actually,
Why don't they
isn't
win
that
all
in
three?
November? I
they should
think
just win all.
Islanders get
Win all
I
three?
want
Yeah, I think that's-
again what I said. 5 points
just broke
for every
them.
one loss. You get the
I just-
Islanders, you get the Ducks, get to overtime against the Sharks, lose to the Knights in the next 4 games. I'm calling it right now.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Exorcist, but I just broke my bobblehead. So this is either a great sign or a horrible sign. So if we win the cup, thanks to me. If we shit the bed the rest of the year, I don't want to hear about it. So, but no, I agree. I think Trent, I think these are very winnable games, all 3 of them, in different aspects. But you'd better come out of there that 3-game stretch. You'd better come out of there with a winning record. If not, then that's a testament to I think where we're at early on. And I get the fact that we're missing Jersey, but knock on wood here, the team is relatively healthy. So if we can't come out of this 3-game stretch with at least a 2-1 record or 2-0-1 record, I'm a little nervous.
Sure.
I don't know. What do you feel?
And should we? No, that sounds about right. I say we leave it at that.
Okay.
It's bedtime.
Did I make an ass out of myself?
Sure. No, I'm with you.
Boys.
I'm with you. And that'll take us right to I don't know what Thanksgiving is. I'm not going to pretend that I ever know what it is. It switches every year. I don't like it. It doesn't make sense. Just pick a damn day and stick with it. But I agree. Yeah, if you can get a good 4 or 5 points out of these next 3, you've set yourself up pretty, looking at that very arbitrary and yet somehow very telling date of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Well, in that case, why don't we go ahead and call it a podcast? We'll reconvene here. Hopefully Friday. We'll try to get more podcasts out more regularly. And we will see y'all for the next game on Friday. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. I'm excited to get back in the Discord now and fight with more people about trade proposals. So I'm excited about that. So catch me in the Discord, folks. If you're not in there, sign up. It's free, and you're missing out big time. There's no better place to be on game days. All right. With that, I'm Clean Hits Trent. Brad, Kenny, see you later.
Tusk out.